Welcome, everyone. My name is Teresa Jackson, and I am the Chief Medical Executive of ANVETS. I'm also the creator of Who's at the Table. Thank you all who have been watching the first season of Who's at the Table, and we just concluded that last week. And so what I wanted to do is to actually bring a special edition episode for you guys where we're actually bringing men veterans to the table. I don't discriminate at the table, though we've been talking to men veterans and talking about their issues and their challenges. I think it's also important that we hear about men veterans and what they're dealing with and how they are responding to what they're hearing women veterans are going through. So today is our first day of the special edition of the Men Veterans Who's at the Table. I'm so honored to have 3 men veterans here at the table, and the very first is none other than my good friend. Let me tell you, me and this brother go way back. His name is Cedric King, and for those of you who don't know him, I suggest you Google him because he is such an inspiration out here in the veteran community. His story is so powerful, a story of courage, and I think he deserves to be here at the table. So welcome, Cedric, to Who's at the Table, my brother.
Man, CJ, you already know what it is. We go way back. The introduction is for everybody else. You already know between you and me. Hey, look. You know my family. I know your. Look, hey, your family. Charlie, look. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
So we're going to get into, just what we do here at the table. I know you've been following us and hearing the stories of women veterans, and we start with asking, why did you decide to come into the military, Cedric?
All right. So for me, it's probably a little bit different. I really didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. Mm-hmm. I know it's a lot of people that are like, I was at 9/11, and when for me, I came in 1995, mm-hmm. and like Desert Storm had just wound down, and the Army was actually cutting back in the 90s. Wasn't a whole lot of, it wasn't a surge, it was cutbacks. And I went in. I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college straight out of high school. And it's the inferior thinking, In high school, where I'm from, if you made the dean's list or you were principal's list, if you had straight A's, valedictorian, you were college material. Mm-hmm. I wasn't college material, partly because I did not apply myself. I did not know what was on the inside. And because I didn't know what was on the inside, I hadn't had experiences in my life to make me feel like that I could rise above. I was like, well, you know what, man, I don't have what it takes. You got to be smart to go to college. You got to be part of the elite. You got to be part of the 1% to go to college. And if you do go to college, you're gonna waste your mom's money. My mom didn't have a lot. She's a single parent. She's working 9 to 5. She had money for me to go squander at college. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was like, man, A, not good grades. B, just didn't have the money to really squander for my mom. So I'm like, look, you know what? If I'm going to do anything, I'll go off and I'll get some college money, and then I'll send myself to school with the money that I make. And that way, if I squander it, it won't be money that comes out of her pocket. Mm-hmm. That was my whole philosophy going into the military. But once I got there, it was like, wait a minute, I had it all wrong, and it didn't take me long. You go in the military, they're going to let you know real quick. You ain't got to be a genius here. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to be dean's list. Matter of fact, the smarter you are in the military, it probably works against you because you know too much. You try and you analyze everything. The military is like, look, we already got the plan. Just do A, B, C. Guy says to me at base training, be at the right place, right time, right attitude, right uniform. Mm-hmm. You can do those 3 things consistently. It don't matter where you go. You will win. Mm-hmm. Right time, right place, right uniform, right attitude. You violate one of those 4, and you're going to run into problems. And here's the real truth. You could do 3 of those things great, but without a good attitude, you're still going to fail. Yeah. You got to always show up at the right place, right time, right uniform. And to put the cherry on top, you got to have the right attitude, Yeah. And once I start putting that together consistently, start rising through the ranks,
And then I don't know if I ever told you this, Cedric, but we share a similar reason why we came into the military. I came into the military because for the same reason, not that I wasn't smart. I was, you know, kind of valedictorian in my class,
Yeah,
but
I'm about to say, you're an officer. You already know what it was. You ain't fooling nobody. You're an officer.
but I saw my parents actually, you know, put my older siblings through school. And I, like you said, you know, they had to both work in order to put 3 kids through college. And I was like, you know what? I am not going to have my parents go through that. So I feel your passion about wanting to do it yourself and coming into the military yourself. Now, I don't agree with the branch of service that you chose, but you know, it all worked out for you in the end that you chose the Army. But, you know, I just wanted to share with you that we do have that similarity, that we wanted to do it ourselves. We saw that we could do it ourselves, and we came into the military and we beat that challenge, and here we are today. So that leads me to my next question for you. So you were in the Army. How many years did you do, Cedric?
20 years to the day.
Really?
I met you actually 17 years in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Into my tenure.
Mm-hmm.
But 20 years to the day. I came in July 18th, 1995 is the day that basic training actually started for me. And I retired July 28th, 2015 at Walter Reed.
Yeah. And
So
that's
20 years.
is where you and I met, which is a lot of your story. I mean, what type of work did you do when you were in the Army? And then tell us about, you know, how you and I met and the injury that got you where you are right now.
Yep. I actually was an infantryman. So for me, I was the guy on the ground. Pilots in the Air Force, those guys, you know, as much as I talk crap about the Air Force, I'm gonna tell you what, I have envied you in two moments in my career, or 2 times in my career. It's when you get to the Air Force chow hall and you guys have food that is like 5-star equivalent compared to the Army. Our gravy looks like the consistency of maybe applesauce. You go to the Air Force chow hall and they got gravy look like something come out of Cracker Barrel.
That's why I asked you, why did you choose the Army, man?
I was like, golly. Your barracks, you call them dorms, and they look like dorms. I'm like, what? I live in a Roach Motel, and y'all over here at the Ritz-Carlton. Like, what in the world? And the second time is when you are on the ground and you are like, golly, I could be up there right now and I could be flying around and I'm here on the ground footing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, by being an infantryman, it's a lot of, I envy you guys in airplanes, but I also love the fact that I made a choice to go to the toughest environment and be a part of the hottest kind of fire that you could be in the military as a job position. It's pure leadership. It's pure leadership in the infantry. You can know computer skills, that's great, but at the end of the day, you have to make men do what you know needs to be done. It's pure leadership. You got to be a leader of men. But in the infantry, there's no women in the infantry at the time. They're starting to put women in the infantry. But you got to be a pure leader. And to be a pure leader, guess what you got to do? You got to be a good leader of yourself. Mm-hmm. You really got to be, if you tell somebody, hey, I need those boots shine, guess what? Your boots better be shine. Mm-hmm. If you tell somebody, hey, you need to be passing the PT test, guess what, man? You need to be passing the PT test. Mm-hmm. There ain't no way to get away from that when you're a leader. And in the military, in the infantry, it's pure leadership. It's pure leadership. Hey, I need those 100 men at the rendezvous point. The helicopters will be there. I need them there at this time. Go. There ain't no time for Band-Aids. There ain't no time for drinking water. Hey, ruck up. We got to go. Mm-hmm. Ain't a whole lot of conversation. And that's what I love about the infantry. It's no apologies. It's either A or B. It's black or white. Go, get it, and go. Mm-hmm. So I mean, with that kind of Spartan-like environment, you're going to either going to rise to the top or they're going to get rid of you. It's very much like the movie 300 every single day. And And that's actually where I come to meet you at, because on a foot patrol in Afghanistan, year 17, third tour combat in Afghanistan, not just anywhere in Afghanistan, in Kandahar province. I mean, you've worked over there in the hottest of battle zones, so you see people coming in and out every day. And right before you see them, that's where I am, prior to coming to see you. And usually it's not a crazy experience. Very rarely are you in a shootout every single second. War is a whole lot of sitting around and, so did she write you? Oh man, you got the letter. Oh, congratulations, you guys, you're pregnant. It's a whole lot of that, And there are brief periods of extreme violence. And during those brief periods of extreme violence is where I come to meet you at. I'm on a foot patrol in Afghanistan. It was supposed to be an easy day. It was supposed to be an easy day. We were going to go out and do a recon. Hey, captain's like, hey, come back with this. Okay, cool. We go out there early in the morning, and, we got into like a tick, what they call troops in contact. We got into a firefight with the enemy, and, we fought them off, got to the place we were supposed to do the recon, and everything's going great. They're calling up the things that the captain needs in there. We're going to be done early. And sure enough, that's when I step on the IED. I stand right on top of it, takes my legs kind of not cleanly off. Obviously, probably better than I do, but it messes them up pretty bad. I can remember when the IED explodes, we all wore boots, but you've never seen your boot turn into pieces of what looks like cleaning, cleaning rags that you clean your weapon with. You put them on. It looked like everything on the ground was like cleaning rags, And what used to be shoelaces, the bootlaces, they're like cut up into like little pieces and frays of the inside of the bootlace everywhere. The heel of your boot just torn up to pieces, look like popcorn. Golly. Still never really understanding what modern medicine can do. I am sitting there looking at what you see in biology class, like the inside of this arm, I could see right through it. And I'm like, that's really weird to look at.
Yeah.
And not it be somebody else, it'd be your own.
Yeah.
The, not to be so gruesome, but I would look down. And in Afghanistan, there's sand everywhere. If you go to Iraq, Afghanistan, there's sand everywhere. This is the first time I'm looking down at the sand. Instead of it being light brown, it's now light pink because of all of me on the ground, But that was the moment where I really had to say, hey, if I am going to be this believer in faith, hey, it's test time, Ain't no more study hall. And I know you didn't know that the test was going to be this morning. Nobody knows what day you're going to have to take the test. It's always a pop quiz in life. And the moment where it happens, it's like, all right, close the books, pop quiz, pull out your pencil, something to write with. Question A, question B, question C, take the test. And that's exactly what I felt like I was doing in that moment. And all I knew how to do was pray and get to living through it. I had jumped, I was a paratrooper. So I spent, the majority of my career jumping out of airplanes. And every time I hit the ground safely, I would always say a prayer. And just say, thank you, Lord. So when I actually ended up landing after the blast and I'm starting to, come back to consciousness, I just, through reactions, thank you, Lord, I'm still here. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the ability to blink my eyes. Thank you for the ability, both of these lungs were punctured. So it's like me being able to breathe in, but as I exhale, I'm like starting to lose air really fast. Starting to feel like you're suffocating a little bit. But thank you for the air that I am getting. And thank you for the ability to still see. I'm wiggling my fingers. The shrapnel in this body of mine is really, really hot right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thank you for the fact that I can feel it. Thank you for the fact that I still have feeling in my lower body. I can work with that. And we start to think that because things aren't perfect, then you got something to complain about. It's just the opposite. When you find something to be thankful for, then that's the thing that activates. It's not being thankful for how much you have. It's how much you can be thankful for what you do have. It's not the abundance that makes that turns into gratitude. That's not the definition of gratitude. The ability to appreciate abundance. It's the abundant way that you can appreciate what you do have. Yeah. And if you can appreciate incredible amounts of gratitude because you can blink your eye, or because you can hear, or because you can still speak, then that's the thing that moves the needle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing that really moves the needle. I go into a coma probably moments, maybe, I don't know, maybe a half hour later. I do remember the helicopter coming in. I do remember it being escorted with an Apache. Over there. Helicopters can't just go out by themselves. They have to go out in 2-ship, 3-ship formations, escorted by armed escorts, you know, helicopters with bullets and rockets and stuff. They put me on the helicopter. I can remember them putting this like lollipop in my mouth. I'm like, what is that? And it's like, hey, trust me, you're going to want it. So I put it in and I started to feel like, oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
I could probably go back and shoot a couple more bullets, you know. Let me at them, you know. So I ended up landing, and when I landed, I was like, it took me for a split second back to MASH, the show MASH, because I'm coming over a mountain range. Kandahar has mountains everywhere. I'm coming over a mountain range. I land. Medics are running out to the airfield to put me on this gurney. It was everything but the theme song. Everything but the theme song. Yep. I go into this tent, and this is probably the first time I felt air conditioning. That's something that I do remember. Before I go into a coma, I do remember I was like, God, it feels good here. Air conditioning. I ain't been in air conditioning in months. I go in there. I was like, God, it feels terrific in here. And I slip into this coma, and I come out of the coma, and I remember seeing my wife. I don't know if I saw you guys first or I saw my wife first. I'm pretty sure I saw Kaida and my mom first, because they were explaining to me people, and then you and this other lady walk in, and I'm like, oh snap, they got models here. It's like, the fellas ain't gonna believe this. I got models here. I'm like, look, hey, my whole thing was I cannot make eye contact with these two ladies for very long. My wife is right there. So I'm like, I was like talking to y'all like this. I was like, okay, all right, yep, scale of 1 to 10. Y'all walked in, I was like, dude.
You are too much, Cedric. Let me tell you, the thing that I remember most about you, and I want the audience to know the reason why we are recording from my stairs in the house is because it took Cedric baby steps to get to where he is today, to be able to be a double amputee, to work through what he had to work through in order to be able to walk. This guy is an Iron Man. This guy runs. I mean, he does everything. He doesn't have any limitations. But I want to take us back to the day I met Cedric. And this is where the nurse-patient relationship really started for me and Cedric. I remember when the manifest came through at Walter Reed, and I was on night shift, and night shift used to always get the new patients coming in from Germany. And of course, me being the experienced ICU nurse that I was, I knew I was going to get the difficult ones. So I was like, oh.
All right, wait. All right, before you keep going, you got to know right now, I'm looking at this screen like, because I love hearing, I don't have any recollection of this time period, this 7 days, 8 days out of my life that they're unaccounted for. Yeah. So anytime you or my wife, my mom tell me stories like this, I'm like spellbound. All right, keep going.
Okay. So I got the manifest. I saw your name. I'm like, okay, Cedric King. And I read what they said about what had happened to you. So I knew what your injuries were. And I remember when they rolled in, you were one of the most critical. So they rolled you in. We had you in one of the biggest rooms in Walter Reed on the corner. And I specifically asked for that room. I said, I don't know, it was God sent, I don't know. But I remember wanting that room in the corner because it had all the big windows. I don't know if you remember all the big windows. And right next to it was the waiting room. And so I was already thinking his wife is going to be here because it said it. The wife and the mom was already at Walter Reed. So I'm like, I'm going to put them in the waiting room while I get Cedric situated. So they get you into the unit. We take you from the gurney. We put you in the bed. And I remember the report that was given to me was like, this guy's been in a coma. We don't know if he's going to wake up. And so after I did all of my assessments and I'm doing everything, looking you over, got you connected to the machines and stuff, I looked at you and was like, this guy is breathing. His vitals are rock solid. What do you mean this dude is not going to wake up? And so, you know, we went on about our shift, and then your wife comes in, your mom comes in, and they're looking you over. I'm introducing myself to them. I'm telling them my plan of care for you for the 12 hours. We connected because we're from the, you know, from the South. And all of a sudden, I heard your mom put on some Kirk Franklin. And I said, me and his mom have a connection. She's putting on Kirk Franklin. I know that she's a praying mom. I know she's a praying mom. And I remember she saying to me, yeah, he's going to come out of his coma. I know he is. I'm not even worried about it. And then I remember her starting to sing. I remember your wife starting to sing and she was caressing your hands. But what was so powerful about those two women at your bedside was they never showed me that they were scared or that they were fearful that you were not going to come out of that coma. They were so like uplifting. Oh, we know Cedric. He's going to wake up. They had that immediately. And then, you know, a day or two later, I still had you as my patient. You did wake up. And I was like, I knew this brother was going to wake up. I knew he was going to wake up. And when you woke up, Cedric, because you had not heard your voice for so long, you were the loudest patient on that floor. And that's when it clicked why God told me to put you in that corner of that unit. All you wanted to do was talk, and talk. And loud, and loud. And I remember your wife and her saying, yes, that's Cedric. And, you know, as you and I develop our patient, you know, nurse relationship, what I discovered that was so encouraging to me is the fact that you saw your legs and noticed that they weren't there. You had the phantom limb pain, you know, that excruciating pain of fire because your limbs were gone and things of that nature. But the one thing that you kept asking me was, Smiley, CJ, when am I gonna get my legs? I say, Cedric, you gotta heal first. You gotta take baby steps in order to get your legs. She's like, no, I gotta get back to my troops. They're waiting on me.
Yeah.
When can I get my legs? And so the question I have for you is for you to wake up from a coma, seeing it and recalling, you know, before you went into the coma, seeing your legs shattered, seeing all of the shrapnel, and waking up in an air-conditioned hospital with your family. Why was it so important for you to quickly heal and get back to your troops? Why was that so important to you?
All right, and this is straight truth, because I didn't want to be in. I wanted to hurry up and get back to the way things were. I wanted to run. Okay, let me say it like this: it was a way out. It was a way out. I wanted to hurry up and get past the discomfort. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you grew up like I did, but when you get a whooping when you're a kid, you want to hurry up and be over with. You don't want your parents to tell you, all right, before you go to bed, you're gonna get skint up. You want to just hurry up and get it over with. Don't make me wait. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. But life will not do that for you. You got to go through the low moments, and you ain't going to be able to rush through it. It's going to be uncomfortable. And because it's going to be uncomfortable, you aren't going to just burn through this. And I thank God for it taking a long time for me to get. And now, I mean, maybe for, you know, because by the time for you guys, you know, from August the 1st, maybe about the first week of August 1st to November the 1st is when I didn't have prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
But for you guys, that's pretty quick. But for me, it was an eternity.
Really?
Not walking for 4 months, not working out for 4 months, or whatever, from August to November, not working out for that long. That's an eternity. That was so long. It's agonizing. And it's not just like the fact that you put legs on the first day, you're going to take off running.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was, you're gonna feel them one day, and then we're going to take them for you. And you got other work to do. You're not going to be walking like you did before for probably a year. It's going to be a year before you actually get back to walking the way that you did before. And even then, that's as close as you're going to get to what you did before. It's not going to be just, oh, I'm just hop up and go to the gas station. No, it's going to be, you're going to have to don devices for you to walk from now on for the rest of your life. And to your point, I wanted to hurry up and jump to the top of the stairs. I didn't want to take one step at a time. I wanted to leap from the bottom of the staircase all the way to the top floor. And that's what we want to do in life sometimes. We want to jump over the adversity. We don't want to go down into it. We want to jump over it. That's why we build bridges. That's why we build bridges, because we want to get over the whatever it is in the fastest place, in the fastest way possible. That's why we have bridges. We want to go over them. We don't want to go down into the gulch, and we don't want to walk down into all of the hedges and the foliage. We want to go over it. And in life, we want to do the same thing. But life is like, nope, there ain't no bridges here. You're going to go down in the gulch, and you're going to have to go around these thorns. And you're going to have to learn how to go around this pond, and you're going to have to wade through this water. You're going to get nasty. It's going to be animals down there. It's going to be messy. And then you'll come out on the other side. And that's the way that it is. But when you continuously go through challenges like that again and again and again, guess what? You learn to appreciate those low places. You can't appreciate the low places if you're always driving over the bridges. And that's what I wanted to do.
Happen for you, Cedric? What was that defining moment when you had to say for yourself, okay, Cedric, you can't rush this process. You can't just leap from this first step all the way up to the top. What was that defining moment where you said, okay, I'm gonna just work the process. I'm not gonna rush it. It's gonna take me time, because I don't know if you recall this, but when you left Walter Reed in November-ish, you came back and visit. You were in your chair. You came to visit the SICU. I was there on that unit. I told you I was retiring, and I said I was not having a ceremony. And you was like, girl, the ceremony isn't about you. It's about the people who have been here in this career with you, and you got to have a ceremony. And you and I made an agreement that day. I said, if I have a ceremony, you're going to give me my final salute. And you was like, I'm not going to do that because I won't be walking by then. I said, well,
you figure it out.
Either I'm not going to have a ceremony, or you're not going to be the one giving me my final salute. And what did you do? You walked across that stage to give me my final salute.
I will tell you. I remember that day. It snowed that day. Me and Kaida to this day doesn't drive in DC because of that day right there. She had to drive. We just got this new car, and she had to drive down to the Women's Memorial down in Arlington. And that's where you had your ceremony at. And we were, Kaida wasn't familiar with those circle roundabouts. Man, we must have hit we probably should have hit about 5-10 people, because it was just people running out, and they think that, you know how to navigate these. She will not drive in big cities because of that one day right there. I never forget. And I drove back. I don't know where to drove back. But I would tell you, the low moment came where I ran out of prescription. I ran out of prescription. We went to this, like at Walter Reed back then, you go on these trips. I'm pretty sure you heard, like, they're going where? What trip? We went to Vail, Colorado. And I had never been anywhere as nice as Vail before. It was like a ski resort. And I was like, dude, golly. We get there, and I start getting these phantom pains. and I run out of prescription, and there's no doc, there's no prescription, there's nothing you could do about it. You're just going to be in pain. And I mean, like, my daughters were there. We had gotten them out of school. They were on the ski slopes. Everybody was having a ball. Everybody was having a blast. But for me, it wasn't just the pain, but the Lyrica, it has something that when you come off of it, you got to be careful, because it's a psychoactive thing too, because you start dealing with your emotions. And I was just so low, CJ. I didn't really want to be here anymore. And when I say I don't want to be here, I'm not talking in code. I wanted to check out. I wanted to quit. I did. I wanted to quit. And I never felt like that before. Never. Never since then, never before then. But in that moment, that was my lowest moment. And we get back to Walter Reed. I can remember that's the same weekend that maybe President Obama had been sworn in for like the second time, that January. Mm-hmm. And it was freezing cold, And Walter Reed, it was a snow day. When they have snow days, only essential personnel come in to work at the hospital. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is gone. So the pharmacy was closed. So I couldn't go and re-up. So we're talking about 2-3 days at Walter Reed closed, and all the time over out of Colorado, no prescription. And I'm really, really low. Like, I'm looking for a way out. Mm. And my wife, thank God for my wife and kids. Thank God for them. Because I couldn't get Lyrica, what I would do is I would take a whole lot of oxys, right? I would take a whole lot of oxys.
You never told me that.
I got to the point where taking oxys was like the equivalent of getting me through, because the phantom pains. I said, I'm not going to take this Lyrica. I get off this Lyrica, I'm out of the prescription, I'm not going back. There's clearly something wrong. But what I did, I supplemented oxys for the Lyrica, because that was the closest thing to pain sedation. So I'm in there taking these Lyricas, and I'm in there taking these oxys, and I'm like out in another world. And the thing about medication is you take one and it feels great. But after you take that one and you come down, every single time you take medication after that, you're chasing the first time. Mm-hmm. You're chasing the first high. Mm-hmm. So it's not taking one oxy anymore. It's taking 3 to make you feel what that one made you feel. Mm-hmm. And when 3 doesn't get it, then you start doing 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. CJ, I got to the point where I was taking 6 or 7. Just to get through a day. I run out of that prescription. 6 or 7 a day. It ain't gonna take long for you to run out. Mm-hmm. And I run out of prescription, and I don't go and re-up. I don't go and refill the prescription. And I don't know why. It probably because I know that I'm going down a path that if I go any further down this path, I'm not coming back. And I love the guy that I was before. I love him more than I love how this makes me feel. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go down this path, and when I hit the dead end, I'm not gonna go to the nurse case manager and re-up anymore. And I don't, and I haven't since. I needed oxys to go to sleep. I get to a point where, and I don't know what this is, maybe mentality, but by the grace of God, that's all I can really attribute it to. I was able to stop and just say, hey, look, I'm not doing it no more. I'm better than this. I love that guy in the mirror. And if I keep going in this direction, I'm going to be going away from the guy that I know that I am. And before I do that, before I kill that guy, I will kill this prescription. Yeah. I will kill one or the other. I will kill the man if I let the prescription live. But if I kill the prescription, then I will let the man live. And that was something that I had to beat it. It couldn't be me talking it no more. And it doesn't matter whether it's the bottle. It doesn't matter if it's the oxys. It doesn't matter if it's the sex. It doesn't matter if it's the money. Whatever it is, you got to either kill one or the other. Yeah. And for me, I let the man live. And that, even now, when I go to the hospital, I get these surgeries. Since then, I'm like, look, I don't want any. The pill stuff, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. It feels terrific though, but I know if it feels too good too long, I gotta.
Yeah. And I mean, and it takes a lot to, number one, admit that you were taking that many oxys to replace the Lyrica. And it's also one of the things that's going on in the veteran community now, that a lot of soldiers are hooked on these opioids and trying to chase that feeling, trying to chase that pain away. And that's so encouraging to know that you were able to get yourself off of those medications. So would you say that was the epiphany that you had, which said, I gotta just slow down, go through the process, work what I need to work through in order to get where you are today? Was that the high?
But I don't want people to think that this is something that you could just stop it on your own.
Yeah.
It's not, and that in itself is a path of destruction.
It is.
You thinking because you're strong in the military, then you can overcome this. You're not dealing with something. It's not you versus the medication. It's you versus you.
Yeah.
It's you versus you. And if you're trying to defeat the enemy on the inside, you can't do it alone. Yeah. Because the enemy on the inside, it knows everything that you're afraid of. It knows all the weak spots. It knows where you're strong at. And all it's going to do is beat you at your own game. Yeah. The guy on the inside, the gal on the inside is going to beat you at your own game. You know why? Because he's on the team.
Yeah.
He's the traitor. Yeah. He's the traitor. So, of course, any plan that you do have, the traitor is going to be like, oh, we'll just work around it.
Yeah.
You're going to need somebody off the team. You're going to need somebody outside the locker room to be able to beat the guy in the locker room. And that's the only way that I know. For me, it was I had a wife and a daughter. And if I continue to go down this pathway, the guy that they love and the guy that I love is going to totally be destroyed. My father was an alcoholic, so I know that this is something that had been going on for years. And if he couldn't beat it as strong as he was, then I know that I can't use the same kind of plan that he used. Yeah. It killed him. So for me, I got to use another playbook. I need to use love. I need to use accountability. I need to use, athletics. I'm going to get out here and beat my body down physically. And then that will be the thing that comes back and say, hey, man, you just finished doing a 2-hour workout. You going to throw all that away because you want to get high? No. Hey, I'm not filling that prescription up again. If anything, I'm going to get high off this workout. I'm going to get high off the fact that I just conquered the dude in here.
Yeah.
Not by sedating him, but by conquering that dude, picking up that medicine ball and throwing it on the ground, or walking 10 steps in this little device right here until I can get to 11 steps, until I get to 12 steps. Take a break, do it again.
I love the fact that you're talking about conquering that person inside, because that's half the battle right there. If you can mentally prepare yourself and say to yourself, I can do anything, I can conquer anything, then that's half the battle. And for you to be able to do that and not have limbs, what was it like when you first took those 1 or 2? Because I've seen videos of you, they recorded when you fell down the first time and you fell down the second time.
Yeah.
Having to conquer that person inside of yourself to say that you can, and to not feel like you were defeated. What was it like when you finally took that first step, second step, and now you're running a freaking marathon?
I got it written right here. Is this. I found that, once again, it wasn't just going from the bottom of the stairs to the top. It was, to get to the top of the stairs, you're going to have to do a lot of falling. And falling was a metaphor for life too. When you were 8 months, years, whatever, how old kids are when they learn to walk, when you were that young, you already had resiliency built into you. It's written on your DNA that you have a program inside you that falls down and you get back up. If that's the case, then no adults will be walking. All of us will still be crawling. So it's written in you to learn how to walk, whether you got prosthetics or not. So when you fall down, you get back up again and again and again and again and again. CJ, I still fall. Yeah. But once you learn that getting back up is a part of falling down, it's a part of life. Yeah. Getting back up again is the only thing that really matters. It doesn't matter if you getting back up again. You're going to fall. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to blow it as a parent, as a wife, as a husband, as a student, as a whatever. You're going to blow it. You're going to make mistakes. But the only thing that really matters is you getting back up again. And if you can continue to get back up again, you cannot be conquered. And I'm talking about if you can continue to get back up, there is one person that can't be conquered, and that's this guy. The guy on the inside cannot be conquered. There's a quote that says, when there is no enemy within, the enemy on the outside can do you no harm. If there is no enemy on the inside, if you have conquered him, if he's no longer the enemy, then there's nothing in front of you, before you, or behind you that can conquer you.
I love that.
You cannot be conquered as long as you conquer this dude. As long as you conquer this girl, you cannot be conquered. Nobody can touch you if you conquering this person on the inside every day. So when I am falling down and getting back up, and falling down and getting back up, all you're doing is putting me in the ring with the champ. That's all you're doing. You're inevitably, you're making the ground my sparring partner. And you put me in the ring with the floor every day, and all I got to do to defeat him is get back up again. Oh, dog, you lost. You lost. You ain't got a chance. That's all I got to do is continue to get back up. You can't beat me. The one of the lessons that combat taught me was you never want to get into a shootout with a guy that doesn't care about losing or winning. They got nothing to lose. No ego. Man, those are the guys that just care about fighting again and again and again and again. That will come back. They taking bullets to the thigh and to the feet, got the shoulder shot off, and they continue to come at you. Those are the guys you're going to have to kill them. You're not going to be able to scare them away. But that's where I found out I got to be just like that. You're going to have to kill me to stop me. That's the only way. I will defeat you. I will defeat you on sheer persistence and reps before you beat me by choice. I'm not signing up to quit. You're going to have to take me out of the game. You're going to have to kick me out of the game. That's the only way I'm losing.
Brother, you preaching.
But that's the way I go into, that's the mentality that you say, hey, I wanted to hurry up and get my legs back on. But you were like, no, it's going to take time. And in this time of cocoon, learning to fly, growing wings, that's where the mentality comes. You don't get the wings without the mentality, or the mentality without the wings. You got to get it by being in the fire.
Yeah.
And if you had gave me the legs, maybe, I would have probably torn up my legs, or whatever. Wouldn't have healed. But I would have robbed myself of the mentality. Yeah. I would have taken, that's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Life is like, nah, you ain't taking no shortcuts. I need you to have this mentality. And once you get the mentality, I'll teach you how to walk. I teach you how to run. You learn how to swim. But the mentality right now is the most valuable thing. And now I've gotten to the point where if you ask me, do I want the legs or the mentality? Hey, man, keep the legs. Keep the legs, man. I don't need the legs. Give me the mentality.
Whoa.
Give me the mentality. See what we want. Just make it back make it the way that it was. Just fix everything back. I promise I'll be happy if you just give me it back the way that it. No.
Yeah.
Keep the legs. I'm thankful that I had legs. And if you gave them back to me and I can keep the mentality, great. But if I had to choose one of the two, man, give me the mindset. Because the mindset that I have now, you can't beat me. I don't care what it is. You got to kill me.
And you know what, Cedric, and that's great. It's powerful to see that you're passionate about having to not be defeated by anything, and that you can conquer anything. But there has to be days, and I mean, we're human. There has to be days when you're just like, man, today is one of those days. So how do you get past that? And
I love it.
To get back to this high that you have right now.
I love. All right, I know it's gonna sound crazy too. All right, it's gonna sound crazy too. But I've gotten to the point where I'm not a sadistic person where I love pain, but I've gotten to the point where I love not knowing, not being certain of how it's going to come out. Like this quarantine thing, I'm a speaker by trade. So I get paid to go out and do speeches. Well, guess what? When the quarantine first happened, nobody was flying anywhere. I had speeches booked for enough money to make for the whole year. We got taxes to pay. I got a wife and kids to take care of. That was my livelihood. Now, yes, I do have a military retirement, and that takes care of certain stuff. But all the other stuff, where's the money gonna come from, Cedric? Hey, I don't know, baby, but this is what I do know. This is what I do know. Just because this happened to us, we're gonna make it through this. And sometimes I needed to say it, not so that my wife and kids could hear it, but sometimes I needed to say it so the person in here could hear it. You have to speak it even when you don't know if it's going to be a fact. Matter of fact, that's the perfect time. When I don't know, you asked me a question about those days where you had to have those days. Yes, and when those days come and I don't have an answer and I don't know how it's going to turn out and there ain't no clear finish line, I don't know when it's going to be over, well, this is what I do. I speak what I want to see. I can't see the finish line. I know it's there, but doggone it, when I cannot see it and I can't point at it, I can say I will be there. I can allow my words to be what my eyes want to see. I let my words, I let my talk, I let my beliefs be what my eyes would love to see. Listen, see, when I'm on mile 10 of a marathon, it's just too far. I can't see the finish line. It's 16 miles away. I couldn't see the finish line unless you give me like a hot air balloon. But even then, it'd be hard to see. But I know the finish line is there. And if I know that the finish line is there and all I got to do is stay on this road right here, well, then there ain't nothing else to talk about. I'm going to keep going forward. Nobody, and I mean nobody, stops running the race because they think the finish line has been pulled up and don't exist anymore. No, we all run because we anticipate getting to that line. So why would I ever stop? But why do we do that in life? Oh, it must not be meant to be. It wasn't my time. Oh, well, I'm not cut out for this. God is not in God's will. No, it is in God's will. And it is for you. But there's got to be something in you to keep moving forward. What good is it? What good is it if you could see all the finish lines? What good would you be to yourself or to anybody else if you knew that every race you started, you knew exactly where the finish line was? No, you ain't know. That ain't no good to anybody. You got to be the kind of fighter that does not know how the end of the game is going to be. But doggone it, you put me in this ring right here and you put the opponent in there and let's hook and jab until we see who's standing at the end. That's the kind of fights I like.
Quit. It's so easy to quit because people give up. It's like, man, round 10, I'm done. This guy is kicking my butt. I'm tired. Is beat up. It's so easy, and we all do this, Cedric. I mean, and even you probably had it in your life as well. We're human. It's easy to quit and be like, I'll try it again tomorrow. I'll try it next month. I'll get that degree 5 years from now. I'll be in a relationship 5 years from now because it's easy.
But
to quit.
But CJ, they ain't training in the rain. They ain't training in the rain, CJ. See, when you train I posted this last night. When you train in the rain, you can laugh at the storms. When you're training in the rain, you can laugh at the storms. If you're, let me say it like this. If you can't laugh in the storms, it probably means you're not training in the rain. And what do I mean by training in the rain? You have to put yourself in circumstances that when tough times hit, I don't automatically run. I'm not taking off and running away from the storms. I'm not going to take off and not train in the rain. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean I'm going to tuck tail and run. No, I'm going to stick here. I'm going to stick it out, man. That's training when it's raining. And if you're training when it's raining, if the thunder happens, or if you see a little lightning, you're not going to panic. But if you are never training in the rain, you hear that thunder and you see that crack of lightning, you'll take off running. Because you ain't used to it. You ain't built your weight up yet.
Yeah.
For you. Look, let me tell you, first time I saw a person spill. All right, it's gonna be glorious. This is gonna be kind of glorious. So warning. All right, if you look, we've been talking about tough stuff already. But the first time I seen a dead body with blood everywhere was in Iraq, and it smelled horrible. It's probably the worst smell. This guy had probably been outside for probably, I don't know, hours, and this is in Iraq heat, so this is 110 degrees.
Yeah.
So the odor was like something I will never forget.
Yeah.
Once you smell it,
yeah.
It's just flies everywhere. Flies and maggots everywhere. Yeah. I'm like, I'm an infantry guy.
Yeah.
But because that stench and that smell has been burned into my brain, it's something I will never forget. But once you are in a circumstance where for you train in that atmosphere, you are around that for years, and for good or for bad, you are callous to it. It doesn't shake you the same way that it shook me.
Yeah.
It shook me. I was like, oh, not only on the visuals, but the whole experience, the smell, the visuals, all roll into one. It shook me. It's something that I can't shake out of my head. That was the first time. Now, every time after that, it got a little bit easier. But for you, someone who has spent hours, days, months, years on end in an ER, and not just anywhere, but in combat.
Yeah.
For you, it's not as difficult. You get in and you go right to work. You just, Well, that's what it's got to be in life. Yeah. You have to put yourself in the doggone fight every single day. If your toughest battle, this is the problem. See, this is the problem. We come out of the military and we stop putting ourselves in the ring. Now in the military, look, you're gonna pass speech test, you're gonna qualify with your weapon, you're gonna have to maintain certain standards. Mm-hmm. Come out of the military, those standards are gone away. We quit putting ourselves in the ring, man. Mm-hmm. And if you quit putting yourself in the ring, if you quit putting yourself under in places of ease, when stuff hits the fan, you're going to be ill-adapt to handle it. Yeah. Because you ain't had reps in so long. Yeah. But doggone it, when you get in there and you're doing what you got to do every single day, whether you feel like doing it or not, when the tough times do come, you be able to laugh. People cut you off in traffic, you be like, hey, man, you have it. So, you don't see a lot of Army guys chasing people down and road rage. Well, hey, dog, you have it. Why? Because I conquered tougher stuff today than road rage. Yeah. Yeah. I've conquered tougher things than being angry at the barista because she mixed my order up with the next person's. Yeah. If that's all the things that you're fighting every day, I don't mean to minimize it, but dog, you got to get your weight up, man. Yeah.
And that's such a great analogy because, like I said, it's so easy to quit. It's so easy to not want to be in the fight. It's so easy to give up. And we see in your journey that you're not one to give up. Again, if anybody that follows you, Googles you, they will see what strong of a person you are, with legs, without legs, with your missing fingers, with the other injuries that you have. You are the true epitome of someone that does not give up. And if viewers are not motivated and inspired by you, Cedric, I don't know what else to give them. So continue to do what you're doing. And we're going to go to the favorite part of the show, which all the viewers love.
You cannot tell me it's gone by this fast, man. I thought we had a whole nother hour, man. Come on.
I want to get you there. I know this is not your favorite part, and you just want to talk. But we got to do our rapid fire, man, because it's important for the viewers to know from your heart, from your gut, how your life has been impacted by your injuries, how you treasure and value your support system around you, and again, how you walk up and down these steps every single day in your life. So that's why it's important that we get to these rapid fire questions. It'll continue your story, of course. But I think it's important that we give the viewers another perspective of who you are. So you ready?
Yeah, always.
Here we go. Life
is good. Life is worth living. I know it's a one answer, but life is always happening for you. Okay. Life is always trying to give you something. It's not trying to take anything. Life is always for you. Life is happening for you. You say, well, you got your legs blown up. How can life be happening for you? Well, this is the wrapping paper. The gift, you wake up on Christmas morning, no kid I know is concerned about the wrapping paper. They're concerned about what's inside the wrapping paper. Mm-hmm. And maybe life is giving you a gift right now, and it's wrapped with plastic bags or newspaper or toilet paper. Don't matter. Mm-hmm. It don't matter. Just let your concern be about what's inside the wrapping paper. It's always giving you a gift, man. Quit looking at what it's wrapped like. Quarantine, COVID. It's something in there, dog. Get in the present.
I love it. Okay, next question. Well, next phrase. Without my legs, I can.
Without my legs, I can park closer to the grocery store. Without my legs, I can quit making the same excuses. Without my legs, I can give more effort. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not, you don't move the needle in life by what comes in. You move the needle in life by what you put out there. And without my legs, I have to be operating at 150% to do what everybody else does with 40%. Yeah. No problem. But I'm going to move the needle. This is everybody's 100% with 2 legs. This is my 100% without 2 legs. And I'm giving more effort. Now, you may be getting further, but I'm giving more effort. Yeah. You may be moving faster, but I'm giving more effort. And effort is the only thing that really counts in this life I've seen.
I love it. Courage is?
Courage is being able to do the thing that you fear. Because you fear it, you do it anyway. It's me being in combat and knowing that I need to run across this street, and I see the bullets that are impacting on the street, but I got men behind me, and I know that there's a mission that needs to be done. So I'm not going to run into bullets too good shot, but I am going to run through these bullets so that men will know that this is what needs to be done and there's nothing that can stop us. Courage is showing up to the Boston Marathon start line, not knowing if you can get to the finish line, but showing up for the fight. Yeah. Courage is showing up and not knowing that you can get to the finish line.
Oh, that's a great answer.
But do it, doggone to do it anyway, yeah. Whether you know or not. Mm-hmm. Propose to the girl whether you think she's going to say yes or not. Ask for the job, put in the application, write the book, doggone it. Do it because you know that it needs to be done, not because somebody's going to buy it or not going to buy it. Have the courage, have the balls to do it, man.
I love it. Being injured taught you?
Being injured taught me about myself, taught me about me. It taught me about my fears. It taught me about how much courage I really did have. It taught me about the guy on the inside. It taught me that when things get tough, that's when I rise to the challenge. Mm-hmm. It taught me that I am not just a man of my word, but I am also a man indeed. Mm. And when things get tough, I am the guy that's going to be here. Mm. You don't know that about yourself if you don't go through challenges.
Yeah.
You don't, you know?
Waking up every day,
Waking up every day, I'm thankful. I wake up in gratitude. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be here tomorrow. So it allows me to say, wow, thank you. I really don't deserve this day. And I've woken up before not knowing that it was guaranteed to wake up. When I first came out of coma, I knew it wasn't a guarantee anymore for every day. Mm-hmm. That let me know for the first time, these days ain't guaranteed, man. Ain't like they already, it ain't like you got 100,000 of them left. No, you got a certain amount of them left. And when you wake up thankful every day for what you do have, man, you get so much more. You get so much more out of life, man. It's just a blessing.
My family
has taught me about what real love is. Mm. Real love. When you get your legs blown off and you're a master sergeant in the United States Army, you think that you are what you do. And when what you do is taken away, then you feel like who you are is taken away too. What? I'm no longer an airborne ranger. I'm no longer a master sergeant, but I've done all this. I can shoot straight. I still no. When they don't want you anymore, now who are you?
Mm-hmm.
And my family came along and was like, hey, look, hey, dog, hey, dad, Cedric, hey, snap out of it. We love you for who you are, whether you got legs or not. That's what real love is. You say my family taught me, they taught me about what real love is. It ain't no we love you because you support this family, although we thankful that you support this family, but we would love you if you didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
We would love you if you had arms, no arms, legs or no legs, nice car, no nice car. We loved you before all of this, we love you after this. This is what real love is. And if you got a couple people in your life that really love you beyond what you look like, beyond what you anything, hey, you blessed to have 1 or 2 people in your life. If you got that, man, you got 10 or 12. Golly, it's a blessing.
That's beautiful. So I would like for you to talk to women veterans. Of course, Who's at the Table is about bringing women veteran stories to the table, hearing our voices, understanding the journeys that we go through. As you've been watching Who's at the Table, you've seen a lot of the challenges women veterans go through with military sexual trauma, with PTSD, with all the single parents. What message from a man veteran, what message would you give to a woman veteran at this state of the veteran community that we're
I'm going to say this. And this is probably, I don't want to shock you, but being in the infantry, you don't work around females a lot, right? So when I came into the hospital, like I told you, I was like, golly, I got models everywhere working. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. But for me, I will say this. I had to find out the hard way that women really are the truth in this army, in this military. They really are. I wasn't a believer. I wasn't because I hadn't worked around women. I hadn't worked around women. So when I come in the military, it was like, wait a minute, they got females here too? But it didn't dawn on me that women are like not just as good, but if you give them an opportunity, they're gonna run circles around guys. It's just the opportunities that they don't get. They don't get the opportunities. But it didn't dawn on me until I got to airborne school. I was an instructor down there. And you have to do pull-ups before you get into the chow hall, right? First time ever, I promise, first time ever. They say, Sergeant King, we got a female here. I used to make people do pull-ups. I was just like the dude back in, I was probably 28, 27, 28 years old. And I was fit, I was great shape. But the student's like, Sergeant King, we got this, we think she can beat you in pull-ups. I was like, and it's this female captain. And sure enough, I get on one pull-up bar, she's on the other. And the whole platoon is waiting on whoever to do the most pull-ups. They can, whoever's in her team, they can go eat first. And if at lunch in the military, lunch is a big deal. Yeah. When you're hungry, you've been training all day. Yeah. I'm looking at this woman, and she's probably about 125 pounds soaking wet. I'm like, I'm about to really dust her off. And I'm not giving it away either. I'm going to really show her that, look, I'm the dude. Yeah. I'm feeling good. See that? 5. I'm talking trash. This all you got? She's quiet. Yes, Sergeant, this is good. 10. I'm starting to feel it at 12. But, I got to keep face. Now pull-ups are starting slow. 15. I'm still keeping her face and talking even more trash now because I want her to quit. I'm like, I got 1,000,000 more of these right here because I can do this all day. And she is like, now we get to 20. 20 is the moment of truth. See, we get to 20. And I'm like, a whole platoon This is like an airborne platoon. Whole platoon is watching me struggle. They've never seen me struggle or anything. I am the one that's making them do flutter kicks and push-ups all day. And this woman is like,
easy breezy.
I'm like, all right, look, y'all won. I was like, y'all win. And they are like, yeah. The motivation goes through the roof. Like, these are the same people I got to tell, hey, keep it down in the chow. Hey, knock it off. Everybody quiet. What are you talking for? Shut up. Get your plate. Get out. And now, like, I can't even go in there no more. And I'm like, golly. That was the first day. Now, we're talking about 7 years into my career. That was the first day where I was like, holy smokes. If you put a woman in the same area as a man, they are going to take over. Whether it be doggone analytics, whether it be PT or whatever, it's just, you got to get the opportunity.
Yep.
And now that you know, you got females going to Ranger School, you could probably have a Navy SEALs open up, Green Berets. It's like, okay, look, let them show you. The problem isn't females, it's the guys. It's not you, it's us. I had to see that.
Yeah.
It's the fact that women, if you give women the same opportunity, the women aren't gonna mess it up. It's the guys that mess it up.
Yeah.
We're the ones, hey girl, hey look. But no, dog, you are messing it up for the guys and the gals.
Yeah.
Let them be the very best that they can be and watch what they do with it.
Yeah. I appreciate
Watch what they do with it.
That's good, Cedric.
Skin you. Women will skin you up. But look, you know, I already know the deal, man. Look, me and you, we talk till the cows come home. Man.
I know. We're going to wrap up now because I know you have other things you got to do, but please let the viewers know where they can find you and what's going on with you. I know you got a book going on. I know you got some speaking engagements going on.
Yeah.
You know your social media handles so they can follow you and what else is going on with you.
So, okay, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on 3 platforms. I'm on LinkedIn, 4 platforms. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Now, Facebook might be a little bit harder, but I post stuff pretty much every day. And I post stuff on LinkedIn, you know, and Instagram every day. But Instagram is where most people find me at because you can have millions of followers on Instagram. LinkedIn is where I maintain professional advice and do all that stuff. Bookings come through LinkedIn. My webpage is getting stood back up right now. It's going to be cedrickingthespeaker.com. That's going to be the webpage. And we also have, I got contacted to do a script. Someone wrote a whole movie script about what we just talked about, me going from the day that my legs got blown off to actually me running the marathon. That's 21 months. From the day that I got my legs blown off to the day that I crossed the finish line at Boston Marathon was 21 months time. So in that time, there's a guy that was like, hey, we need to, you know, write this. The movie, I think they call it Endurance. The movie is called Endurance. We did a table reading for it with real actors about a month ago, we did a table reading with executives watching the whole thing. But because of quarantine, you know, things have been like kind of, you know, really slow. But there will be a movie. I'm speaking it into existence. There will be a movie. All the characters. There's characters from my wife, my daughter, my mom. All these people have characters.
Yeah, yours right here.
So look, they do have medical personnel from Walter Reed that are playing in this, but it's going to be a movie about the human spirit, not just Cedric King, but this is a movie about the human spirit and what the human spirit can overcome. Not what I, you, him, her, them, not what people can do individually, but what we all have the potential to do on the inside of us.
Awesome.
There's book number 2 coming out. So right before we got on the phone, we were doing interviews for book number 2. Not sure what it's going to be called quite yet. I'm not sure, but it's going to be maybe more of a how-to book than a biography. It's going to be more of like a business, sales, leadership, you know, get to it, get after it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we also have my first triathlon that's going to be coming up pretty soon, if this virtual, gets done. Been working on doing 100-milers. So that's one of the things that when you get out there, you do your 100 miles, you come back in, you get stronger.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a great time. It's a great time to be alive.
And I know you're busy, and I so appreciate you, taking the time to be on this special edition men's veteran who's at the table. Cedric, you're my brother from another mother, and you and I got stories to galore that we can probably have.
Thank you for not telling the story. Thank you for not telling the story. All right, we'll say that one for next time.
Stories. But I would say before we close that the one thing that really touches my heart, I actually saw my retirement ceremony since 2013. And, it made me tear up, man, to see you walk across that stage and knowing that, that was one of your first moments on your prosthetics. And you honored me that day by, giving me my final salute. And I will always treasure that moment. Even when I show it to other people, it's a tearjerker. And, I just wanted to tell you how, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the relationship you and I have, where we're so, deeply rooted that we can call each other and support each other the way that we do. And I so appreciate you, brother. I'm always here for you. If there's anything you need, I'm here, and vice versa. I love your family. Continue to strive and do what you're doing. Don't quit. I know you will. And continue to empower as you continue to do the things that you're doing, Cedric. You're doing incredible things, and I appreciate you being here at Who's at the Table. With that, you have a great weekend, man, and we'll talk soon. God bless.